There is this common belief that I see people struggling with, which is that I can manifest small things, but when it comes to big things, they don't seem to come off as easily. And it does feel true, right? Because you have seen the coffee show up, the free parking spot appear. However, the dream job, the financial independence, and that breakthrough, the life changing shift, that feels like they exist on a different plane altogether, governed maybe by some different laws. You might have even had moments where you thought, why do the little things flow so effortlessly, but the things that I deeply want take so much time? Why? It almost feels as though the universe is selective and it has got some favorites. Like some requests are easier to fulfill than the others. But is that really the case? Is it really true? Because here's the thing, right? The laws of the universe do not play any favorite. It does not distinguish between a penny and a palace. The only thing that does differentiate between the two is our mind. Now, what do I mean by that is that the idea of something big or something small is totally a human construct. It is the perspective, not a reality. Now, think about gravity, right? Let's take gravity for example. It holds down a tiny ant and a massive skyscraper with the same precision. The force does not say, it is too big for me to handle. This skyscraper is so heavy. And it doesn't even say that this thing is so small for me to bother with it. No, it just works the same for everything and everyone. If the laws of physics operate the same way, regardless of the size and matter, then this law of universe, which are working for you, would work any differently. Why would that be? Like, make it make sense. But this is where most people struggle because, in their experience, the so called big feels so much harder to bring into the reality than the small ones. The reason for this is not that the universe is making it difficult, it is because the mind, your mind, is making certain associations with it, right? It is putting on weight to certain desires while allowing others to flow freely. Take money for example, right? If you find $1 on the street, you would not question it. You will feel nonchalant towards it. There is not going to be any sort of emotional attachment towards it. There is no resistance because it is unexpected and you are not emotionally attached to the outcome. But on the contrary, if you see and set an intention for $1 million, let's say, and suddenly doubt creeps in, and the doubt creeps in the form of how and when, which is the worst enemy of your manifestations. You start overthinking how will it come, when it will come, where it will appear. And in all this overthinking and resistance, you create this energetic block that delay the manifestation. And you are manifesting 24/7. It is not that the amount of money that is the problem, which is a certain amount, it is the emotional charge that you have attached to it. And now this applies to the process of manifestation. The same universal laws operate whether you are manifesting a cup of tea or a multi-million-dollar business. The difference necessarily is the resistance you attach to it. The Kybalion, which is a book, speaks of the principle of polarity, which is one of the laws of the universe, which is that how opposites are not truly separate but exist on the same continuum. To understand it better, hot and cold, light and dark, abundance and lack, they are not different. They are not different forces. They are the different expressions of the same force vibrating at a different frequency. They are the same frequency, but at a different rate of vibration. In the same way, small or big are just different points of the same frequency. The moment you perceive something as big, something which is out of your reach, you unknowingly place it further away from you. You create this illusion of distance. Now, for example, think of a thermometer, right? Now, there is not a point in there where hot becomes cold or cold becomes hot. It is all just temperature, just at different intensities. Now, the same applies to your manifestation. What you call as small manifestation and a big manifestation are actually the same thing, just at a different rate of vibration of the same frequency. So if you're experiencing lack, you are also on the frequency of abundance. Now, the moment you label something as big, your mind assigns this extra distance, extra resistance, extra weight, and that's where the struggle begins. When you say something is too big to manifest, what you're really saying is, I cannot have it. It is too far away from me. It is separate from me. And now here's the real thing. Listen very carefully. Separation is an illusion. And what is separate from you cannot be with you. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that everything exists within the self. The moment you place something outside of yourself, you are creating resistance. You are separating it from yourself, and what you don't have from within, the world cannot give you. Now, to truly understand this, look at how children experience the world. Just how they experience the world. If you tell a child that they can achieve whatever the hell that they want, they don't stop to analyze whether it is possible or not. They don't sit there questioning, like, can I do it? Is it too big for me to have it? Is it too small? They simply accept and expect it to come. But as we grow older, we learn limitations. We adopt beliefs that what is realistic, what is unrealistic, what can I have, what can I not have. And beliefs are necessarily of solidified thoughts. Now consider this, if you can manifest a small thing effortlessly, why does a big thing feel so difficult? Why? It is not that the universe is making it hard. Stop with that thinking. It is the weight that you have assigned it. It is the weight that you have assigned to the thing in your head. So instead of blaming the outside world, look from within. The Bible says this, according to your faith, let it be done to you. Faith is not about belief in the higher power. It is the belief in the natural order of things. Now, if you believe something is hard, it will be. If you believe something is distant, it will remain so. And this is why people tend to manifest small things effortlessly, because they do not question how, when, where. No, they accept it. But when you doubt, when you overanalyze, when you overthink whatever it is that you desire, you are creating obstacles for your own self. because you are not trusting the power that lies within you. Now think of a child who is learning to walk. Do they analyze or try to understand, like, why can't I do it? No. They just take the first step. And then another, and then another. They don't believe it's a big thing to do. They just do. And then they fall, and then they get up, and then they do it again until they learn how to walk. But as we grow, we are conditioned to attach meanings to things. We categorize them. We categorize our goals even as to what is realistic, what can I achieve, what is out of my reach, what can I not achieve. And then we struggle with it. We struggle with the categories that we create. That too in our head, which is just an illusion. Because now we are struggling with it because we have made this thing that we want so much bigger than us. When in reality, nothing is more precious than you. And now the real question is, how do you remove this invisible wall between you and what you desire? And by the way, let me know your insights from this video in the comments below. So, now talking about solutions. So number 1 is, stop labeling things as big or small. See them as equal. If you can attract a free meal, if you can attract anything small, then you can attract a thriving business. The same mechanism applies everywhere. The only difference is how much importance, how much resistance you have assigned to it. So train yourself to see manifestations as real, and once they appear to you, don't be surprised by it. A new house should feel as normal to you as a cup of coffee, because you deserve it, and that's how you should take it. You should take it for granted. You should not feel like there is something out of the world. Now, number 2, the more you crave something, the more you affirm its absence. In Dhammapad, it's written that all suffering arises from attachment, not from the desire itself, but from grasping, from needing. And when you let go of the urgency, you open the flow. Think of a clenched fist, for example, like this. When you grip something tightly, you limit the movement. You limit how much you can move, right? But when you relax and let things flow to you effortlessly, it all becomes easier. And number 3, instead of seeing your goals as something far away, embody its frequency now. I have said this multiple times. You and your desired reality are one. If you desire abundance, move like the one who has it. If you desire love, then radiate the energy of love before it arrives, because the world cannot give you anything that you haven't given to yourself. Every manifestation begins from within. If you lack something, you create more lack. If you feel abundance, you naturally attract experiences that confirm that, which is the confirmation bias that we as humans have. Now, a great example of this is the story of a mustard seed from the Bible. It teaches us that even the tiniest bit of faith, which is the faith in self, can move mountains. Why? Because faith eliminates resistance. When you believe something blindly, you don't question it. It collapses the illusion of size and difficulty. When you truly believe that something is possible, you remove the mental separation between you and what you desire. And you're not attached to the outcome because you are lying there in assurance. You are not separate from what you want. The same force that manifests a feather is the same force that manifests kingdom. The only thing that makes one thing seem separate from other is your perception, is all you. And that perception always lies within your control, which is the good news. So once you see beyond this illusion, manifestation stops being a question of how, when, or like where will it appear, because it then becomes just a matter of alignment, because in the eyes of the universe, everything is already yours. And with that, I will see you in the next video.